Hello YouTube land, my name is Wildboy569 and welcome back to another video. Now this is a story time of Wildboy that I've been actually wanting to talk about for a while. I do apologize if, I apologize because if you hear my fan blowing and making some air, it's hot as hell in my room. It's actually a nice day outside. I'm just going to go for a walk with my piece of shit camera, but it's too laggy to when I walk around and make moves. So I said, screw it, I'll go back inside. Back home, and I'll do a story time with Wildboy. And I was thinking what I was going to tell a story about, and I said, screw it, let's talk about growing up with autism specifically. So this may be a long video. I don't know. I'm not gonna go. It's probably gonna be a long video because it's gonna go in detail about some stuff in my life, especially school and growing up and classmates and everything like that. So many of you guys know I was born in 1999 to be exact, and when I was diagnosed with autism, I was, I think, 4 or 5. It was sometime between 2003 and 2004. And at the time I was diagnosed, it was like 1 in 150, for example. And now it feels like nowadays everybody's getting diagnosed with autism left and right. Especially just nowadays, feels like people are just self-diagnosing with themselves with autism and not getting a doctor's referral. I know a couple people who claim to be who say they're on the autism spectrum, but they're not on the spectrum. They're just self-proclaimed. They're just self-proclaimed and self-diagnosing themselves, to be exact. But I was diagnosed by a professional in Tulsa in 2004, 2003, 2004, something on the top of my head. I do remember going to doctor's appointments like that in Tulsa. I wasn't sure what specifically for, but it was in Tulsa, because I remember going to the doctor's appointment one day because I was living in Oklahoma at the time, Sallisaw to be exact, and when I got one day, usually it would be me and my mom on a trip. We would go to Tulsa for the appointment and then get something to eat on the way home. And then one day we all got together, me and my brother and sister. We went to the doctor's appointment. When we got done with the doctor's appointment, we went over to the zoo in Tulsa, which every time we go to Tulsa, we always go to the zoo. But anyway, we went there, and of course, I didn't know about anything about autism or Asperger's syndrome until I was about 7 or 8 years old. And that was about the time 2007, 2008. Now, I can tell you about growing up in some other small towns, somewhere in Oklahoma. I remember in my early childhood school memories when I was before going to the bad school I was in from 2006 2001. So 2002 to 2004, I went to Head Start twice in one school, and then kindergarten through first grade I went to another school, same in Oklahoma. And then second to sixth grade I went to the school which I've talked bad about. And then 2011 to graduation, went to school in Arkansas, and then 2017 to 2019 I attended college at University of Arkansas at Fort Smith. And still living in the town. I lived here since 2011. I've been living here for 14 years, but I don't call it my hometown. I despise this town, and I'm ashamed to be from this town. But anyway, I'm going to start back with the second school I went to, from kindergarten to first grade, because this was about the time I was diagnosed. Apparently, my mom was telling me that I already knew it. She believed I was on the spectrum right off the bat because I was so incredibly smart to where I knew what the teacher was teaching about. I remember that's from what I was told. I would ace my stuff. I would ace my group assignments. I would know everything right off the bat. I know how to count to 500. I knew how to say my ABCs frontwards and backwards. I could count to 40 in Spanish. I knew from every president in the correct order. I can give you the same exact planet. Be like, what's the seventh planet? Saturn or Neptune or whatever. You asked me what was this planet, what number is this planet, what's the third planet? Earth. What's the first planet? Mercury. What's the eighth planet? Neptune. I can give it right off the bat. Same thing with presidents. What ended ever president? This president. What was the 14th president? Franklin Pierce. I can't do that now. I cannot do that now. My memory's kind of faded back, so I like to go look about history and everything like that. And then, like I said, my mom knew it was autism right off the bat before I was getting diagnosed. And like I said, this was at a time to where not many people were getting diagnosed, and it was at a point to where mental health was not a thing, or especially in males. Because growing up, 11, 12 years old, I cried. I was a pussy. I was a man child. I was crybaby and everything like that. Now you have a grown man cry. It's just comfort, and I never had that comfortness in school or anything like that, which I talked about in my bullying video and everything like that. And so I went to school from first grade to second grade in this school, and then second to sixth grade, my dad had moved us to another town, to the town where he grew up in. and that we went to school from there from second to sixth grade, and that second grade second grade wasn't bad. Third grade, I was a problem child. I would have tantrums and stuff like that. Fourth grade was hell. Fifth grade was hell. Sixth grade was the worst hell. But I'll go into more about my second grade stuff. This was in a school in Oklahoma, right on the border of Arkansas and Oklahoma. Was considered a bedroom community because people lived here in the town and they would work over in Fort Smith because it was like right on the dot, but it was still in Oklahoma. So, when I was in the principal is actually still the principal there. She's been principal when I moved there. This was her 9th year as principal, so this is her 27th, 28th year, something like that. And so my dad was already skeptical about it because the principal for the school, her and my dad did not like each other. They would butt heads growing up and everything like that because she was one of the rich people in town. Everybody knew her and everything like that. And so third grade, third grade was a horrible year. It was just bad. Every day I was moving stuff. They actually one of the teachers had one of their digital cameras. When digital cameras was a thing, she recorded me having a meltdown and everything like that. And yes, I probably overreacted or something, but I admit I destroyed the entire classroom, which I probably shouldn't have, because I think the reason was I wasn't the first one to go to the bus. But anyway, the thing was they recorded it and they were laughing, and they refused to let me leave until I cleaned everything up. And I admit I destroyed that classroom, just throwing chairs and everything. It was bad. They took pictures and everything, and my mom made them delete the entire footage and everything like that. Just thinking about it it makes me feel really, really bad that I did something like that. But at the same time, they didn't understand how to cope with the kid on the autism spectrum. So fourth grade, and I was already nervous about going to the fourth grade because the teacher was incredibly awful. She was an awful teacher. After I moved out of there, I had no idea what happened to her. I don't know if she still teaches there. I don't know. I tried looking some of these teachers up, and I cannot find any information on them whatsoever. But I know fourth grade was a bad year because the teacher was already a horrible person. I already had issues with this teacher way before before I even went to her class. And this was at a time, I think I was from August of 2008, which I was in fourth grade, August 2008 to maybe October of 2009. I think I got pulled out of the school because my principal, again, nobody understands autism at the time, which I still don't think they do. I remember her telling my mom, I don't care if he's autistic, ADHD, bipolar, whatever. What he needs is a good ass whooping. I need to give him one. Mom put me out of the school for 2 months and made me homeschooled by another teacher who was in who had a kid on the spectrum, and he was homeschooled and everything like that. I think I was there for a month or so, and then my mom taught me for a little bit. Where she has no teacher degree, she would the teacher gave the teacher from the homeschool gave my mom assignments, and we did stuff. We would go down to the library. We would do assignments and stuff like that. Walk to the library, walk to the park, and do stuff. And it was actually a really good time. And then my mom finally was like, okay, let's have an IP meeting. And then January of 2009, she's like, okay, let's go back to the meeting. Maybe we can work things out. They had an IEP meeting on Friday. Monday I was back in school, back at the fourth grade. I remember looking at the yearbook that year. They didn't put me in the yearbook for fourth grade. So, and then fourth grade, it was like, I think it was all connected to class because I think there was maybe about 25 kids. Like I said, this school was so small that there was 20 people for each grade. So if you had 20 people in the fourth grade, all 20 kids would be in one class. And usually in elementary school in the U.S., you would have one teacher who would teach every subject. Middle school and high school, you would have different types of teachers who would teach one subject, for the most part. And then, and then I remember, was it fourth or fifth grade? I can't remember. Every year, from second to fifth grade, at the end of every year, the last week of school, we would have events. One day, the first, second, and third graders would take a trip to the skating rink, and the fourth, fifth, and sixth graders would do activities and stuff like that throughout the day. The next day, it would be vice versa. Wednesday would be a field day, track day, field day, or whatever. Thursday would be a talent show, and then Friday would be award assembly or prize giveaway. Now, I did the talent show every year from second to sixth grade. I remember remembering going to perform and everything like that. So when second grade, I remember asking this one kid if they wanted to sing with me in the town show, and he said, "Yeah, we'll do it." So I remember, of course, every year I sang the country song. Second, fourth, or fifth grade was a country song, and then once I got into sixth grade, I started more listening to rock and roll and everything like that. So, what did I sing again? Okay, first off, I can't sing worse shit. I couldn't sing shit back then, and I can't sing worse shit now. But I still like to sing, and I like to pretend I'm performing and everything like that. Am I good at it? No. Do I like what I like to do it for a living? Yes. So, second grade, me and this one kid for the town show at the end of the year, we sang "Don't Take the Girl" by Tim McGraw. And this was at a time when I was a Tim McGraw fan before I found out that he's a piece of crap. And then third grade, I sang another Tim McGraw song, Indian Outlaw, which was Tim McGraw's first hit, which you can actually find that on YouTube. On my mom's channel, from when she was my mom. I consider my mom an OG YouTuber because she had uploaded videos between 2007 to 2008. She only uploaded 5 or 6 videos, but she forgot her password and everything like that. But you can still find the video on YouTube. And then what I do, of course, they let me sing in the fourth grade talent show, which was at the time I sang it was a new up and coming song by Jimmy Wayne called Do You Believe Me Now? And of course, Jimmy Wayne at the time, he still today is one of my all-time favorite country singers. Everything about his story and his music's really inspiring. So this was at a time. He made his first album in 2003 when I was in Head Start or anything like that. And he made his second and third album in 2008, 2009. And this was early 2009. So this was in what he calls his glory days, or I like to call him when he was in his prime, because he made one album, made a second album 2008, and then made the third album 2009. And then he hasn't made an album since. He has released a couple books though. But so I remember singing "Do You Believe Me Now," which was a new song at the time. And then fifth grade, I can't remember what I sang in fifth grade. I really couldn't remember what I sang in fifth grade. Sixth grade, I sang "Hinder Lips of an Angel" because that's when I started getting into rock and roll. And also that was at a time to where the principal was like, "Hey, if you want to sing a song, make sure you do the karaoke version so it's not sounding like you're doing a duet." But yeah. So luckily we did find a copy of Hinder's Lips, copy of a karaoke singing with "Lips of an Angel" on it. And they had a rule to where whatever somebody sang, you couldn't sing it. Somebody was going to do it, but I beat them to it. They let me sing, thank God. But sixth grade, I'm like, you know what, I'm just not going to do a talent show because they're like, oh, you need to perform, you do really good. Meanwhile, 2 weeks ago, they said I can't sing worth a lick. But yet they want me to sing and perform. I said, okay, you want me to sing and perform? I'll do it. But I was the first one to perform. First one to perform at that talent show. I said, alright, we'll get it over with and I can go home early. Everything like that. So, and then that was the last time I performed, performed in a public talent show before I was in the therapeutic day treatment and they did a talent show. We'll talk about that in just a minute. And so I sang that one. I was able to do it and go home early and everything like that. And then sixth grade. Okay, so on Friday, last day of school, they would have an award assembly in the morning, and then after lunch, they would do a prize giveaway. They would have bikes, like really expensive bikes, toys, everything you can think of. One of those air guns where you pull a rope back and you shoot it and shoots out air and everything like that. So, of course, I didn't win. I think I won. And one award in second grade because during elementary school they give an award for everybody, whether it's best smile, best hair, whatever. They give an award for everybody. Third, fourth, and fifth grade, I didn't get an award. I didn't get a prize at all anything year because the thing was, basically I had one ticket. I got a ticket for being a student there. They would give a ticket for perfect attendance. They would attend for good grades, everything like that. So, if this person has 4 or 5 tickets for each drawing, and you have one, it's probably not going to work out on your end. So, I do remember when I was in third grade and my sister was in the fourth grade. My sister ended up winning a prize, and I just broke down in tears. A very nice lady, God bless her soul. I don't know what happened. I don't even know who she is. I don't know what happened. She came over to me and gave me a $5 bill and said, "You want something?" Of course, $5 in 2008, when I was 8 years old, you could get a lot of stuff. So, basically, it was the same thing every year. And of course, you're only allowed to win one prize. And if your name gets drawn again, they will give you the choice saying, do you want to keep the prize you have now or do you want to switch it out? One kid won a bike a year, 2 years in a row. First 1 year, my first year he won the bike. Second year he won the bike again. The principal was like, "Well, you won the bike last year. Do you want to get another prize?" "Oh, my bike broke last year, so I'm gonna take the other bike." I would have been like, I mean, I won it last year and it's still good, but I'll take the other bike. But I'll take the anyway. So, like I said, I didn't win an award, a prize. But however, when I was in, my nose is itchy. I'm sorry, I'm not picking my nose. I'm itching it. So when I was in sixth grade, okay, so fourth, fifth, and sixth grade, they would do a spelling bee, and it was a mandatory spelling bee, which I hate doing. Which I hate mandatory stuff. I did it in college, which I wouldn't. Which I said myself, I would never do anything mandatory again. So we fourth, fifth, and sixth grade. Well, it was a mandatory in fifth and sixth grade. Was a spelling bee, one for each grade. Third grade would do a spelling bee and everything like that. I remember doing the spelling bee in fifth grade. I was out the very first round, so I didn't even get a chance. I said next year I'm going to try to give my best to get in a spelling bee, and I practice and I practice and I practice and I practice. And I went down the sheet, and I know what the first three words I knew I was going to spell. The first word I spelled was audible. Got it right in the first round. Audible. Got it. Moved on to the next round. Second word, banjo. Banjo. Got it right. And I got down to the final four. I said, okay, don't mess this up. And if one of these people get out before I do, I at least get a bronze medal. Works for me. So, I got down to the final three. They asked me to spell the word camouflage. Did not get it. I think it's spelled Camouflage. I spelled it Camouflauge. But still, third place. I got a certificate. I got a medal. Happy in the long run. So when the award assembly came in the last day of school, the principal was like, "Oh, first place goes to this person. Second place goes to this person. Third place goes to Colton Turner." That's what it was. But still, I was happy as hell. Got a third place ribbon. They didn't rig it or anything like that. They let me win fair and square. I was happy as hell. And then we did the talent show and everything like that. They asked me to come to the summer program. I went for 3 days. And I said, I'm done. I'm not coming back. So we moved. So we were able to get out of the town. And Mom was like, okay, just get through this last year of 6th grade, and then we'll go somewhere else. So my mom was really skeptical about coming to an Arkansas school because all she knew about was Fort Smith schools and how bad they were. My dad got a job at Mars Pet Care over at Fort Chaffee. We moved to somewhere in Van Buren in the middle of nowhere. Lived there for about 3 or 4 days because it had mold, and I was in the hospital. Not in the hospital, but I was hurting really bad. And apparently black mold can kill you. And so somebody said at my dad's work, well, this town where I live is a very nice town. You might want to check it out. So we moved to the town, moved to the trailer park first, and then I went to school. Well, I think, ooh, new school and everything. I think it's going to get better. Kind of, sort of. Teachers kind of gave a shit. Students really, of course, they were way worse over here. These kids would get into physical fights. And meanwhile, when I was in Oklahoma, they would just be all bark and all bite. But these kids over here would get into physical behavior. There's white trash, there's meth heads, and everything like that. So, what did I do? So, I remember experiencing my first ever physical fight here. I was sleeping in class. Some kid screamed in my ear. I screamed at him. This kid came at me. I screamed, and I was moving my hands around trying to get him. I guess I hit somebody. This kid came up and whacked me in the face. I screamed as loud as I can, grabbed a history book, and smacked him in the face with the book. Now, apparently, when I tell people this story, they're like, "Oh, that didn't happen. You fell to the ground. I had a seizure, blah, blah, blah." Were you there? No, you weren't. So apparently nobody ever tells the story about how I whacked him in the face with the history book. Their way they see it was I fell to the ground and had a seizure as soon as I got punched. Kid gets 1 day of suspension. I get 3 days of ISS for what? I don't know. So, and of course, I remember doing a video about, I forgot to mention how I got 9 swats in 1 day. So, to make a short assumption, I do have a longer video on this story about having given 9 swats in 1 day, which I'll go into a shorter detail. So, 6th grade, my mom said, you know what, just spank him whenever you want to, don't call me or anything. They took advantage of that. So, when we did group assignments, teacher would put me somewhere I didn't want to. They would make me do stuff I didn't want to do, and if I knew that would happen, I would get spanking, swats, and then they would call. So I ended up getting 9 swats in 1 day. They never called my mom or anything like that. Got home one day, took a shower, saw my ass was bruised. She went up to the school, dropped my pants and said, if you ever touch him again, it'll be the last time you touch him. Until that last year, the principal straight up told my parents that I'm nothing but a problem child, a spoiled brat, and who just needs an ass whooping and not going to buy into his label. My dad's told that principal everything under the sun. I'm also, excuse me, Black Friday last year. My family was in town for Texas. I went Black Friday shopping before work. Went to the mall. I actually saw the elementary school principal and her son. Her son was in my grade. He was the class clown. Got away with a lot of shit. I remember walking past Hot Topic around to K. Joel's around the corner, and I remember looking at her, seeing her. She looked at me. I looked at her, nodded my head, and went on my way. Now, my brother-in-law also went to school over there in Oklahoma. His sister was also a troublemaker, and we butted heads a lot. It was like one of those to where we would butt heads all day. We would bicker, scream and holler. It was like an old married couple. That's how we would describe. People thought we would get together. Instead, she ends up with another guy who has the same name as me. But anyway, like that. So. But yeah, when I found out my sister got together with the person who gave me a hard time in elementary school, I didn't speak to my sister for like 3 weeks. And then when I found out as soon as they got together, they were going to Florida for family vacation, I arranged them, raved off the Facebook and everything like that. So, but anyway, brother-in-law is a very nice guy. He's a very nice guy. We've done so much stuff together. We've gone to the strip clubs, we've gone to the casino, we've gone dance clubs and everything like that. He invites us stuff all the time. We just don't have the money. I do. My parents don't. But anyway, what was I saying? Okay, anyway, we're talking about when I moved here. I was in ISS a lot. Half the stuff I don't even know. I guess when I was at the end of 7th grade, I had a psychotic breakdown. I was in the bathroom doing something I don't remember. All I could have sworn my psychotic breakdown was telling the whole math class that I was going to kill them all tomorrow. That's what I said. They gave me a month of in-school suspension. That very first day, Mom pulled me out of school, took me to the psychiatric hospital. They didn't say anything. They had a meeting with my referral doctor the next day. He recommended the therapeutic day treatment. It was March of 2012. I didn't get in there until August. So, and then we'll talk about that another time. But that was just early childhood memories on the autism spectrum. So, basically in the long run, some of the stuff, yeah, looking back, I knew I wasn't a good kid, but at the same time, there was nobody who knew how to deal with it. Nobody knew how to understand or work with it. So my only hope is that, even though it's not true, I do hope that kids with severe disabilities, whether it be autism, bipolar, depression, ADHD, or whatever, who go to school in that town in Oklahoma, and people already tells me that the principal still does the same thing. If you're an autistic kid, or she just labels you as a problem child or nothing, and she's already had children with that many times. So, this is her 27, 28th year. Why is she principal still? I don't know. Maybe it's because she has a name in the town, probably. So, looking back, do I regret being the kid I was? For the most part, yes. I want to go back and if I had the option to start life all over again. Luckily, I got the help I needed, and luckily from high school on, I knew how to control my anger, for the most part. When I got in high school, I knew how to. They knew me as a kid throwing chairs, cussing, screaming, ranting, ran out the room. When I got into high school, it was totally different. Kept to myself. When I got in trouble, I'm like, okay, I'm sorry, and all that. So I would just like to have a reset button, to where if I had the opportunity to just have a start life over and go to an elementary school again, I would be a better kid and everything like that. And maybe, hopefully, they have somebody there who knows what they're doing and has some type of special ed and help like that. So that's my only bet. So hopefully in my next life, I'm a better kid. Who knows? And of course, with my YouTube channel, I kind of treat people badly. When I first opened up the YouTube channel, I opened up this YouTube channel when I was still living in Oklahoma. Didn't make a video for 3 or 4 years. Yeah, early YouTube, I kind of said some stuff that I shouldn't have said. I kind of did some stuff that I shouldn't have done. But at the same time, it's kind of like you put me in a predicament like that. But anyway, that's just the whole story from when I was there, from my early to autism childhood, stuff like that. Of course, growing up, being a kid, mental health wasn't a thing. Or it wasn't a common thing. You know, it was, if you were a grown man in 2003 and you cried over anything, It can be whether you break a shoelace, they would see you as a pussy. If a man cried because his wife died, he would still be an emotional pussy. That's just how how the life was back then. Especially, it got better in some places, but if it's down here in the South, Bible Belt, it's still gonna be the same. But anyway, I remember this one kid in high school saying, "Any guy who cries over anything is a puss bag, and guys shouldn't cry over everything." So I told him to just raise them to have a bigger heart, unlike you. And so, anyway, that's just my story. Hopefully, you got something out of it. If you did, rate with a thumbs up. Hopefully this video wasn't too long of a video. If you got something out of it, hope you definitely enjoyed it. Share some of your favorite childhood memories or growing up. Let me know down in the comments below. Hopefully you had a better childhood I did. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, rate with a thumbs up. Comment down below. As always, thank you guys a lot for watching. I'll see you on the future video. Take it easy.